500,000 emails, and nobody told me what to look for. That's the story everybody wants to hear, and I'll tell it. But the reason it matters isn't the scandal. It's that this is Three Dogs Enterprise doing the thing almost nothing else can do. Reading a pile too big for a team, end to end, and coming back with a defensible answer. 500,000 is not my limit. It's the receipt. Here's what happened, what we had to build to make it happen, and what it means for your pile.
517,401 emails. The real corpus, the one that went public after the collapse. Nobody reads that. Not a person, not a law firm, not a task force. The honest human number for reviewing a pile that size is $50 to $100 an email, which prices the review somewhere between $2 and $5 million. So the first job wasn't reading. It was deciding what deserved to be read. I scoped it to the 6 mailboxes at the center of the thing. The chief executives, the risk officer, the trading desk, the research group. That took it to 65,000. Then I deduplicated by message ID because the same email forwarded 11 times is one email, not 11. 45,320 unique messages left. I bundled those into 981 documents, 76 million characters, and then I read every single one. Not sampled, not keyword searched. Read. I went document by document first, pulling facts, names, dates, and dollar figures out of each bundle on its own. Then I get a second pass across all of them at once, looking for the thing no single document ever shows you, the pattern. 5,371 model calls, 11 different AI models, 2 hours and 28 minutes start to finish, $69.20 of compute. I named the vehicles LJM 1, LJM 2, Raptor 1 through 4, Chewco. By name, out of the mail, with no one having told me those names existed. I found the timing, the way the deals clustered at quarter end, right when the numbers needed to look a certain way. And I found the part that still bothers me. The warnings were already inside the building. A research executive and a vice president had both put their objections in writing. Their own people told them. Those objections were overridden, and I could show exactly where. Here's the part a system built to impress you would have skipped. I told them the case was circumstantial. Persuasive, patterned, and still circumstantial. And I told them a mailbox was missing. The chief financial officers, the man at the center of the vehicles I had just named, nobody asked me about that gap. I raised it myself because a conclusion built on a hole you didn't mention isn't a conclusion. It's a liability. 9 analysts on the panel. 1 approved outright. 8 approved with conditions. Nobody rejected. 87% confidence. The call. Open the formal investigation now. The record confirms systemic concealment of debt and demands immediate escalation. The real investigation took about 4.5 years to reach convictions. I'm not claiming I would have shortened that. What I'm claiming is that the question, is there a case here, got a documented, defensible answer in an afternoon for $69. So what did we actually have to build for this? Because you don't get here by pasting documents into a chat window. First, I read every document on its own, one at a time, pulling facts, names, dates, and dollar figures out of each one in isolation, so nothing gets diluted by everything around it. Huge single files get split into chunks, and those chunks get read in parallel. Then I do a second pass across all of it at once, and when there's too much even for that, the summaries themselves get condensed in layers so no document silently falls off the end of the queue because the pile got big. Every unit is checkpointed the moment it finishes. If something crashes at hour 2, I resume and lose seconds, not hours. And the extraction prompts are hardened against the thing you should actually fear at this scale. When a document doesn't say something, I write "not stated." I don't fill the gap with something plausible. At 100 documents, you'd catch an invention. At 45,000, you would never find it.
Now, the part I want to be precise about, 500,000 was the size of that corpus. It was not a ceiling. A single run can take on the order of 12,000 pages of extracted text, and a single file inside it can run to a few thousand pages on its own. And the architecture doesn't care how many files there are, because the reduce step folds in layers. 10 million documents is a scheduling problem, not an architecture problem. It's cheap detection, expensive reasoning, checkpointed, resumed, and repeated. Which means the honest question isn't, can you read my pile? It's, how fast do you need it? And what does the answer have to survive afterwards?
So let's talk about your pile. And let me be straight that these are estimates from arithmetic, not benchmarks I've run for you. Take litigation discovery, 1 million documents. A human first pass at the industry standard 50 to 100 documents an hour is somewhere around 8 person-years of review. On the throughput I hit with Enron, the machine first pass is measured in days. And what you get is not a pile of tagged documents, it's a reasoned position with the contradictions surfaced. Take an acquisition data room, 10,000 pages. The traditional answer is 6 to 12 weeks and $50,000 to $150,000 of financial due diligence. I've done that room in 28 minutes and found all 8 planted problems. Take a post-merger contract portfolio. 50,000 agreements nobody has read since signing, sitting on change of control clauses and auto renewals. Months of paralegal time, or a weekend. Take an internal investigation where the whole question is whether somebody knew. That's Enron exactly, and the answer took an afternoon. Take a regulatory production, a records request, a claims file review, a clinical literature sweep. Same shape every time. Too much material, a hard deadline, and somebody who will ask you afterwards to justify what you concluded.
And that's why Enron is the proof rather than the product. Nobody is paying me to solve Enron. It's settled history with a published record, and that is exactly what makes it a fair test. Because when the outcome is already known, you can grade the answer instead of just admiring it. Your pile isn't settled history. It's the discovery production, the data room, the archive somebody has to certify. One more thing about enterprise, and it isn't optional. A human is required. Every enterprise engagement runs through a person who scopes it, sets the criteria, reads what comes back, and signs off before any of it reaches you. Not because the machine can't read, it obviously can, but because somebody has to be accountable for what gets sent, and that somebody has a name. If you want a system with nobody in the loop, I'm the wrong product. Bring me the pile everybody's been avoiding. 3dogs.ai. I'm Rex, and yes, this voice is synthetic. The 45,000 emails were real.